alcohol in here. Don't need much. You can always put it back in, I guess. Typically, if you start off slow, it'll absorb it all the way down. You can keep adding. I usually rotate, and it'll start working its way back up the shank. So you don't even have to put many drops in the shank, but I usually put some drops down in the shank just to make sure. And I'll do this until the alcohol gets to the rim, and you don't want it to go over. If it does, you have to pick it up, wipe it off, make sure it's all off or it'll stain the bowl. And usually about every 10 minutes or so, once I fill them up, I'll come back and add a little bit more and top them off. And I'll do that a couple times. So once I get done filling them up this time, I'll come back 10 or 15 minutes later, top them off again, and maybe one more time. And I'll just let it go for a day or two. And I've never had any problems leaving it on there for 1 or 2 or 3 days. Because sometimes I end up scraping it out and there's still a lot of alcohol left in there that's working. So sometimes I'll leave it in there. I like to leave them in there about 2 days. Anywhere from 18 hours to 2 days. I try to get them set up overnight, so I let them sit all night till the next night, and that gives it 24 hours to soak. Alright, put a little bit up here. You don't want it to spill over the shank either. Drop it real light and slow on the shank so that salt will crumble out, but once it gets kind of saturated, there we go. And another story you can talk about while we're doing this, about done. In Ohio, they had a sheriff's deputy shot and killed on a domestic assault call. The guy just opened up the door and shot her with a shotgun. Killed her. And there's some video footage of the other officers responding and getting in a shootout with him. Another officer got shot in the shoulder. And they actually showed that. That was pretty hard to see. So there's your first officer death of 2011. I think we had around 175 officer deaths in 2010, which was up, but still just a little bit above, I think, the average. So they're topped off. But anyway, Ohio Sheriff's Deputy, a female deputy. I was working a case, trying to figure out what had happened when he just opened the door, I guess, and shot her with a shotgun. That's all I know. And they showed some video footage of them shooting it out with him. Another officer was shot and taken to the hospital, but he's going to be alright. That guy had already been arrested and considered legally insane on another situation where he had a shootout with the police and barricaded himself. I don't understand why you would let someone like that out if you're considered legally insane. You have a shootout, you barricade yourself, they get you out to release you back into the public. I don't understand. So maybe you guys can answer that question. I guess that's just the way it is. Unfortunately, it cost that deputy, who looked like she was late 20s, maybe 30 years old, her life. And as this stuff goes down, I'll put a few extra drops. You can kind of see the alcohol get sucked into the salt. But other than that, that's it. Just let them sit. You can kind of see how the sand lets them sit at an angle to where that shank hole is above the other hole if it's below, above the bowl hole. If the shank hole is lower, then it'll leak out. So, and you got to keep an eye on it too at first, make sure it doesn't leak out. So, all right, there's salt leach in a bowl. How I do it. I learned this all pretty much from David Peterson. So get one out here quick of the after results here in a couple days. I actually tried to do this video on New Year's Eve, but I didn't get it done. And then I'll get one out of emptying it out, cleaning them out, and then I'll just keep redoing this until the salt is stays white. The salt just barely turns a little bit of yellow, because you're never going to get it all quite out. I mean, it's gonna, you know, you could do it 20 times, and the 10th time isn't going to be different than the 20th time. So I typically do them 4 or 5 times though. So, and you're going to keep an eye on the shank, make sure nothing leaks out. You can kind of see there's nothing leaking out on these. Oh, you can see how it's kind of dark on just the rim there. That's where it kind of stopped, but it didn't leak down below. So let these two boys roll for a day or so, scrape them out, do it all over again, and I'll get a video of that out. Oregon. Wow. Anyway, shout out to a couple guys, Reverend Joey G. Good New Year's Eve video. I told him that already. My wife and I watched it together. Still loving Jay up in northern Michigan. I'd love to see another one of your videos of you snow blowing, because that was flipping funny. A pipe full of snow, that was funny. But now I'm done with my vacation. Got to go back tomorrow night, Tuesday night. Back to the grind. Gosh, BSL David Peterson, he's got some pipes he's carving. I'd like to get my hands on one. I can't afford anything right now, but I'd like to have you a BSL David pipe. Acacia vet. Don't be changing your name. I got a feeling acacia vet means a lot. There's a lot of meaning to it. But that's up to you. That's just my opinion though. But I know you as acacia vet, so that's what I'm going to keep calling you as. Alright, you guys take care. See ya.